LSCBs, and we put in a bid to the Department of Communities and Local Government to try and secure some funding to do some panel design training. I'll hand over to Graham. Thank you.
Okay, those of you that are playing acronyms Snap are probably doing really well at the moment because our presentation is absolutely littered with them. So I'm going to do my best to cover any acronyms and tell you what they are. Mine is particularly bad actually, so I'm sorry about that. In terms of the SAPB, that's Safeguarding Adult Protection Board, we are very much looking forward to Ben coming in because Ben with his experience will bring a level of challenge, and I think that challenge is always very healthy across the partnership, so we're very keen to see that really taken forward. A few years ago we had a really poor safeguarding report in adults. We worked very hard to improve what we do. And we had a peer review last spring, so one of the key things with Bernard, and certainly with the LGA, Cathy Williams, our national lead for safeguarding, is to review where we're at in terms of implementation of the recommendations of that peer review. We've made a lot of progress on that. Alongside that, we've also undertaken an assessment of the Adult Safeguarding Board, which is a self-assessment profile, which again is based on a kind of national audit tool, which will help us to move forward in terms of really making sure the board is being effective and doing what it needs to do across all partners for safeguarding. We are one of the key authorities in the North West that are working very hard in terms of the development to make safeguarding personal. What that means is that safeguarding has previously been seen as a very much a process-oriented thing where the key outcome is making somebody safe and other elements of their life don't matter so much. With making safeguarding personal, the idea is that we identify outcomes for individuals as part of the process. So, for example, an independent lifestyle might be very important, and we need to then measure those outcomes alongside the safeguarding intervention. So, the safeguarding making someone safe, but also enable them to get where they need to in their life. That's a really big change. So one of the key authorities taking that forward. And increasingly, what we're seeing is much better collaboration across adults and children in terms of the training and development of work. Now, why that's really important is because we're really looking for professionals who make decisions alongside people rather than being following the process. And I think that was one of the biggest criticisms we've had in the past, is people following the process but not thinking about what they're doing. Okay, in terms of regional developments then, again one of our criticisms in the past is that we were seen as being very insular, and everybody knows the phrase, the insular peninsula. But from a kind of DAS perspective, it was particularly the case that we weren't necessarily involved in broader developments. So one of the key things I've done is taken on a regional role in terms of adult safeguarding. That also means I'm now part of the national LGA team that look after safeguarding for all adults across the country. So the good news for us is it means that we're also able to influence national development and also to get straight from the horse's mouth to the latest kind of policy development and start to try and implement them locally. So that's been very good. So our influence is increasing, and one of the things that we've been involved in recently is a big national piece of work on safeguarding and domestic abuse. And Wirral was one of the areas that put a lot of work into developing case studies around how we can work much more effectively in domestic abuse cases. And I'll quote it on that national guidance now as a key sort of part of that development team. So again, we're moving in the right direction. The MARAC, which means Multi-Agency Risk Assessment Committee, is in place and doing some sterling work, but has identified that we've got a key issue in Wirral in terms of under-reporting of hate crime. So a key task there is really to get out knowledge and information about hate crime and really ensure that we're reporting that better across the system. And a lot of that's to do with people not really understanding about hate crime or not really understanding when they need to report issues. And I think there's a lot more that can be done in terms of our communications with people that might be affected by these sorts of crimes, particularly people